6 strongest earthquakes caught on camera. Terrifying earthquakes have always been a human obsession. They destroy thousands of homes and infrastructure, endangering the lives of those affected in the area. But there are even more severe earthquakes that have claimed the lives of thousands of innocent people. In this video, let's explore the 6 most terrifying earthquakes recorded by the camera. Number 1. Magnitude 9.1 earthquake in Japan. On March 11, 2011, the 9.1 magnitude Honshu earthquake that struck off the island of Honshu in northeastern Japan caused a tsunami up to 40 meters high to hit the mainland, destroying everything in its path. The epicenter of the earthquake was located 130 kilometers east of Sendai City. This is the strongest earthquake to hit the area since seismic data began in the late 19th century. It is also considered one of the deadliest earthquakes in the world. Nearly 16,000 people have been killed, with more than 2,500 still missing and presumed dead. Over 6,000 people were injured. Many towns were wiped off the map. The tsunami destroyed the Fukushima nuclear plant near the coast, exposing the surrounding residential areas to radiation. Many years have passed and people have not been able to live in this area again. Many areas have been washed away or covered with mud and debris. Although some people were rescued from the wreckage in the first few days after the massive earthquake and tsunami, most relief operations involving retrieving bodies washed ashore after being swept away. Immediately after the disaster, hundreds of thousands of people were forced to live in temporary shelters with limited supplies of essentials. Tens of thousands more remain trapped and isolated in the worst affected areas. Number 2. Nepal earthquake. The strongest earthquake in nearly 100 years shook central Nepal in the afternoon of April 25, 2015, killing at least 1,200 people and injuring more than 1,700, causing severe damage in the country. The magnitude 7.9 quake was centered between the capital Kathmandu and the city of Pokhara. This was followed by more than 15 aftershocks with a magnitude of 4.5 to 6.6, causing casualties in many of Nepal's neighbors such as India, China and Bangladesh. Most of people in Nepal live in cramped old houses, so this is always a concern when an earthquake occurs. In the capital, Kathmandu, many buildings turned into rubble in the blink of an eye, while the hospital received many serious injuries. At least 200 people were trapped inside the 19th century tower when it collapsed. The earthquake also caused avalanches on the world's highest mountain, Everest, killing at least 18 people and injuring many more. Number 3. Turkey earthquake. On February 6, 2023, a 7.8 magnitude earthquake shook the province of Kahramanmaraş, southeast Turkey, killing nearly 49,600 people, of whom more than 6,800 were foreign nationals. More than 385,000 apartments were destroyed or seriously damaged. The Turkish government estimated losses of more than $105 billion after this disaster. The quake, followed by hundreds of aftershocks, was recorded in 11 provinces as well as many neighboring countries, including Syria. The country recorded more than 4,500 deaths. Just 2 weeks later, another 4.6 magnitude earthquake struck the Turkish border area. Its power could be felt in Syria, Egypt and Lebanon. After 3 minutes, there was another 5.8 magnitude earthquake. Authorities said there were 90 aftershocks. During the night, 6,000 tents were sent to the earthquake area to provide shelter for people. 294 people were injured, of whom 18 were seriously injured and were transported to nearby hospitals. Many buildings have collapsed, but most of the town has been evacuated since the previous earthquake. Number 4. Sichuan's devastating 2008 earthquake. This terrible 7.9 magnitude earthquake in Sichuan province has claimed the lives of 70,000 people, 17,000 people are missing, hundreds of thousands of people are injured, more than 5 million people have lost their homes, and it has transformed this area, turned into a pile of ruins. This is considered the worst disaster in Chinese history since the Great Tangshan earthquake in 1976. Beichuan is the place most affected by the earthquake, and it took a lot of time for the rescue team to find their way into each collapsed area for search and rescue. Many of the victims who died were students because of the earthquake occurred during school hours. Many parents who lost their children cried silently and collapsed when their children's bodies were found. Many years have passed, but the terrible memory of the old earthquake still haunts those who survived. The devastated areas were abandoned like cold burial grounds. Most of the survivors were located to new places, but still many people, especially the elderly, chose to stay and continued to live on the land they were born on. Number 5. Deadly earthquake shakes Ecuador. Ecuador is located along the confluence of Nazca and South America and is prone to frequent earthquakes. On March 19, 2023, a 6.8 magnitude earthquake occurred in Ecuador, causing many casualties. The epicenter was located at a depth of 66.4 kilometers, about 10 kilometers from the city of Belao in Guayas province. Authorities confirmed the quake killed 14 people and injured more than 380. Many buildings in these localities have collapsed or been damaged. At least 44 houses were destroyed and more than 60 others were damaged. About 50 educational institutions and more than 30 medical centers were also affected by the earthquake. Meanwhile, many roads were disrupted due to landslides. Santa Rosa Airport reported minor damage but remained operational. Relief forces were dispatched in time to help the victims. This earthquake was felt in 13 provinces in Ecuador. Several localities in neighboring Peru also felt the quake, but no casualties or property damage were reported. Number 6. Indian Ocean earthquake. The massive earthquake that caused a huge tsunami across the Indian Ocean on December 26, 2004 became the most devastating natural disaster of the country. At 7:58 a.m. local time on December 26, 2004, a magnitude 9.1 earthquake occurred off the coast of Indonesia, at the northernmost tip of Sumatra. It caused a huge tsunami across the Indian Ocean, killing more than 230,000 people across 14 countries. 30 minutes after the tremor, a wave up to 30 meters high hit the coast of Sumatra and the Nicobar Islands. Hours later, it reached the Maldives, Mauritius, and the east coast of Africa. Indonesia is the most affected place because it is located near the epicenter of the earthquake, and water overflows inland for kilometers. An estimated 167,000 people were killed, more than 500,000 people were left homeless, and 800 kilometers of coastline were destroyed across the island nation. Thousands of foreigners were also caught up in the disaster, many of them scuba diving, swimming, or on the beach when the waves hit. 14 other countries located in the storm's passing area were also severely affected. Thailand topped the list with 54,000 deaths, followed by Sweden, Germany, and other countries. Popular tourist beaches were quickly turned into makeshift hospitals. The tsunami caused an estimated $10 billion in damage. To date, this is one of the deadliest earthquake disasters in modern world history. This traumatic event is often referred to by the media and people of the region as the Asian tsunami. That is the information about the 6 most devastating earthquakes was recorded on camera. Do you know any information about other earthquakes? Leave your comment below and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Goodbye for now and see you in the next videos.